Okay folks, welcome back. Captain Walton once again. I would like to thank you for coming back, watching another one of my videos. Today we're going to be flying Delta Airlines Flight 8424, service from New Orleans, Louisiana to Dallas-Fort Worth International in Dallas, Texas. We'll be using the PMDG 777-200LR. The simulator version is FSX SE or Steam Edition. And we will be operating FS Passengers 2015 edition on the way to Dallas. I've already got the ACAR set up, the route plugged in. We'll be cruising at 38,000 feet, approximately 470 miles per hour. And our flight time is looking to be about 47 minutes. And we're looking at about 58 minutes gate to gate. So, sit back and enjoy the ride. We're going to request pushback here and get going.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and crew, welcome aboard this flight. We hope you enjoy flying with us.
Yeah, I do apologize. I had to start FS Passengers, so I had to stop the video for a second. Alright. Let's do a final light check and test. Make sure all the lights are on and working properly. Make sure we have no light errors. Okay, we are good. Oh, that's nice. Go through the building. Alright.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
We are using Active Sky Next, Rex 4, Texture Direct, Recip FX, Orbix Global, and as you can obviously see, GSX. We do have some clouds in the vicinity, not much though. We have, like I said, Active Sky Next. We've got the weather radar on, and it's showing nothing, at least in the general vicinity of the airport. We might hit something as we head towards Dallas, as it was running up there earlier this
Line
morning.
has been inserted. Release parking brakes.
Okay, here we go.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Wait until we get back from the terminal a little bit before we start. I want to run the risk of injuring any of the ground crew members. Push back 1 minute early. We're scheduled to leave at 2200 Zulu or 5 p.m. local. Okay. We're far enough back, we can go ahead and start. engine 2 starting up. We're actually going to be facing the departing end of the runway. Now we need to take a left and taxi down. Going off runway 19. Our departure's a little weird. It's going to be a very sharp turn after, left-hand sharp turn after departure, and then you're going to get about 3,000 feet up, or so we will make a pretty steep 180-degree turn back for our first waypoint, or our second waypoint, I should say, which is on the Giger 1 arrival at the AEX transition. We're going to just run one engine. We'll taxi out on one engine to save some fuel.
Set parking brakes.
While they're doing that, we're going to go ahead and test our controls, make sure our controls are free and clear. Oopsie daisy. There we go. Alright, looks like we are free and clear. Let's just test the spoilers. Yep. Alright.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass being removed.
Turn on a little music for our passengers to enjoy. Once we get the wave off, we'll go ahead and taxi on out. I am from Texas, from the south, so I drink a lot of iced tea and I take a drink here.
Right, it's clear.
Good old Texas sweet tea. And there's the clear wave, and there is our final wave off. We are good to go. Wait for them to clear the front of the aircraft, engines and wing, and then we will taxi out on the number 2 engine only. Wave at them. I do find it ironic that ExpressJet is pushing back Delta, but whatever. Give you guys a quick look outside. Here we are outside. You can see it, number 2 is running, number 1 is not. We will taxi out on one engine. Alright. So they are clear from the wing, aircraft, and engine. Go ahead and release the brakes and get rolling. I don't know how steady the 777 is on a one-engine taxi. I have not done it before, so we'll see. I usually don't do one-engine taxis, but I'm trying to add another realism level to my flight sim experience. I've been asked in the past how long I've been in aviation, and I've been in aviation now 14 years. I've got a lot of experience under my belt, many hours in the thousands, and both real world and virtually. so I am definitely a fan of aviation. Give you a little insight on how I got into aviation. While we're taxiing, when I was about 15 or 16, I took my very first airplane ride. It was on Southwest Airlines to Las Vegas, Nevada. And it was at that point that I realized how much I loved aviation and what I wanted to do. So, ever since that point, at that age, I got myself a computer and started learning aviation on the flight sim. And it wasn't too long after that I had went to a flight instructor and learned how to fly. So, yeah, real world, I mean. So that's where I came in, or how I got into the aviation community, and fell in love with it. So. Kind of hard to keep the aircraft, you know, just straight and steady when you're on a one-engine taxi. But we'll get the hang of it. There's some guys that can taxi to 777 on one engine beautifully. My hat goes off to them. As I said, I think I've said this before, I'm not a 777 pilot. I'm not saying anything negative about the 777. It's a great aircraft, definitely a fun aircraft to fly. I think in part because I really enjoy flying Airbus, but I'm also a major Boeing fan as well. I like them both. They both have pros and cons. But to get back on the point of liking the 777, I like the 777 to me because in part it feels like an Airbus in a way. They're both fly-by-wire technology. In particular, Boeing's new 787 will fly almost identical to an Airbus, just with a Boeing layout. And obviously a few other differences, but I'll just leave it at that. But anyways, let's get back to the point here. We are approaching the runway. It's a rather decent sized runway. We'll easily be able to get off as light as we are. We had 40,000 pounds of fuel loaded on the aircraft, which is more than enough to get us to Dallas, and I do believe all the way back to New Orleans if we needed to. We are full on our payload, full cargo, and full aircraft of passengers. Apparently this is a quite popular route. We actually had 310 passengers scheduled with only 331 seats. So 21 seats are available, so we're practically full, I should say. Anyways, we're approaching the runway, so I'm going to slow our thrust level down here. Be easier to level us out on the taxi too with only one engine running. Let's start slowing us down here. As we approach the line, go ahead and stop the aircraft here, and I'm going to go ahead and start up number 1. Alright, flaps are set for takeoff, trim is set for takeoff. Engine 1 is running, engine 2 is running. flight controls are free, clear, and normal. Our fuel levels are even, 38,800 pounds. APU can go ahead and come off at this point. Sometimes I leave the APU on to 10,000 feet, and a lot of times I'll turn it on when passing through 10,000 on arrival. Most of the time I leave the APU on, but just go ahead and turn it off today. Alright. Go ahead and get our lights on here. It clears onto the runway. Alright. Runway 19. Delta Flight 8424 is cleared for takeoff. Still trying to learn 777. As I said, I can never line it up just perfectly like I can with all the other aircraft. LNAV, VNAV is armed. We have 2 stable. I don't know what happened there, why it only went up to 80%. We'll let the maintenance look at it when we get to DFW. Pretty green water. It's like St. Patrick's Day. Beautiful day for flying. Uh-oh. Seen a lightning strike out there. Climbing a lot faster than I expected, so. I have the TCAS off because I don't use any AI traffic. Alright, there's 10,000 feet. clouds out there on the weather radar. This will be about 30 and 40 miles out. As I said before, though, I do believe as we approach Dallas we may run into some weather. I know it was raining there earlier today, I do believe, all through the East Texas area this morning. Anyways, folks, that'll do it for the takeoff portion of the video. Stay with us on the arrival into DFW. Okay, folks, welcome back. Captain Walton once again. We are approaching DFW now. We're out of 8,500 feet. Currently set down for 7, but we're going to go ahead and lower ourselves down to 3,000 for the approach into DFW. It does seem to be a little bumpy, so I'm going to go ahead and put the seatbelt signs back on at this time. I'm going to go ahead and get our landing lights on, as well as go ahead and start the APU. Alright. Seems like drag is always required, at least in this aircraft. I'm going to go ahead and put the flaps down to 1 at this time. Getting a traffic warning, but I'm not seeing the traffic. Okay, there he is, but he was off scale. Weird. Okay, out of 7,900 now. Seem to be, for some reason, not following the descent path. This plane does this a lot, and I'm not sure why. It's driving me nuts, to be honest with you. Probably won't fly it very much if it can't start staying on this glide path. There's DFW. We're definitely going to have to lose some altitude here if we plan on getting down appropriately. Go ahead and put the flaps out here a little bit more in an attempt to slow the aircraft to get us down. For some reason the aircraft does not want to slow down. I'm going to go ahead and turn the auto throttle off. I think that has a lot to do with it. For some reason the auto throttle does not come off the speed properly. In turn it gives us a problem with our altitude, which is a pain in the neck. And I wanted to be a fan of this 777, but it's getting really annoying at this point. Now trying to catch up. Cabin's prepared for landing. Go ahead and drop the gear down a little early. Go ahead and give us some drag. Auto brakes on 3. Cabin ready. AP running seatbelts on. Auto brakes 3 set. The aircraft is finally catching up to its descent path here. It's going to be a pretty sharp turn in order to turn around for the airport there. Okay. Looks like we're going to go ahead and start our descent here. Let's go ahead and get flaps 10. Do 30 on the landing there. Sorry about that. For some reason I have to reset the sound every time I put flaps out. The sound does not want to go away. there's a continuous clicking sound.
2500.
Flaps 25 or 20. Let's go ahead and do flaps 25 as well. Okay, let's go ahead and do flaps 30. Landing flaps.
We are about to land. Please remain seated until we have stopped.
Okay. 18 right. We are cleared to land. And we're getting appropriately on the glide path. Just in time, it seems like. Okay. There would be the runway. So right.
1000. Light slow.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
This aircraft has a tendency to sink a lot.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Light slow.
Don't sink.
Light slow. Light slow. Light slow.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
I don't see how we're sinking.
Don't sink.
Whatever.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
We're actually right on the glide path. Actually meeting a good friend of mine here, Marcelo from deltava.org, so hopefully we'll see him. If not, we'll see him on our next video. We're going to be departing together doing a group flight with him.
Don't sink.
In the 737-700 series PMDG NGX from Dallas to Denver, Colorado.
Light slow. Light slow. Light slow.
Don't sink.
Light slow. Light
Don't
slow.
sink.
Light slow.
Don't sink.
Light slow.
Oh, shut up with the glide slope already.
Don't sink.
100.
Don't sink.
50.
Don't sink.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Landing rate negative 117 with 1.006 Gs. Perfect. Alright. Very good. We will go ahead and taxi off the runway here.
Please remain your seatbelt sign is turned off and the aircraft has come to a complete stop. On behalf of everyone at Delta Virtual Airlines, thank you for flying with us, and we look forward.
Okay. Actually a very good landing rate. I'm quite impressed. We landed with 20,461 pounds of fuel left, which is a decent amount. We left, if I remember right, we left New Orleans with 38,800 pounds. So we used between 18,000 and 19,000 pounds. It's not bad. There's the terminal over there. Go ahead and taxi on up and prepare for our 737 NGX flight, which will be flight 70 14. So definitely look for that video and watch the group flight between me and Marcelo at Delta. Very good pilot and definite friend of mine. There is a 737 taking off there. Looks like he's taking off awful steep. It's quite ironic actually. It's like birds flying over DFW up there, straight ahead. Too bad we didn't get a bird strike. Well, folks, I would like to personally thank you very much for joining us on this Delta Flight 8424 to DFW from from New Orleans, sorry. And look for their following video after this one, be the same day that this video is recorded, is Delta Flight 7014 service from DFW to Denver, Colorado, which will be a very, very nice flight, I do believe. You know, it's amazing. I can taxi to 747 and even the Airbus A340, 300, and 600 no problem. But for some reason I am not making the turns right in the 777. So as I said before, my hat definitely goes off to those 777 pilots out there who can fly the aircraft nicely and taxi it nicely. It's definitely a learning curve, for me anyways. So, but I'm enjoying the time on it. It's definitely an interesting time on the aircraft, without a doubt. I'm definitely enjoying, as I said, the time on the aircraft. Okay, let's see here. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our destination. On behalf of the captain and crew,
Make sure the APU is on. Yep.
we hope that you join us again.
Okay. We'll go ahead and open the main door. Alright folks, thank you for riding with us and we'll see you next time.